Hey guys, John Gordon here with Growing with Gordon, and I have a quick snippet today where we're going to talk about real estate markets. And so the reason why I'm focusing more on real estate, because that's my bread and butter, that's what I've been doing for the last 7-ish years, fell into it beforehand in Richmond. And there's a lot of kind of volatility going on right now in the market, a lot of questions, a lot of concerns. People love talking about it. And so this topic specifically will just be about real estate markets. From what we've been hearing, we've been in a seller's market for the last, 5-6 years, which means that there isn't enough inventory or houses to go around for the buyer demand in a specific area. So let's say there's one house per 10 people, or whatever the specific statistic is, or as us realtors like to phrase it, there's enough inventory for a week for a week time period, or there's enough inventory to last 2 weeks. So if no more houses were able to hit the market, there was just a full stop, then it would last about a week to 2 weeks before all the houses were gone, snatched up by buyers. So what's interesting is that we've been seeing a shift has already happened or is currently happening. And again, this is specifically in the DMV area. That's DC and the surrounding states, Maryland, which to get granular into the weeds, those markets can vary per submarket, or if you're going into the middle of nowhere, Maryland, or middle of nowhere, Virginia versus the cities. So that all changes. So if you get a certain mileage outside, then, for example, our office, we're in Mosaic, Fairfax. If you get out into Warrenton's 45 minutes, if there's traffic, an hour away, the days on market per property may extend to a few weeks to a month. It may be common to see homes be on the market for 45 days. So when I say a seller's market, that's when we know that there's lines out the door at open houses, listing agents are flooded with offers, people are coming in over asking, removing all contingencies, and just doing everything they can to be the winning offer to get their foot into the door and get under contract with the house. So when I say shift, what does that mean exactly? So inventory is still historically low. It's slowly starting to creep up. And what we're seeing is that homes are starting to sit a little longer. And there are a few factors that we're seeing affecting home sitting. Let's say they don't have the bells and whistles. They're not fully renovated or updated. Could cause issue to have a house sit. Or if it's the big indicator is if it's priced too high, too aggressively. Sellers may be living in the past where they aren't present with what the market is doing. Maybe it's the realtor's fault. Maybe they aren't explaining what is happening in the market right now. But homes that are priced higher, too high, may sit on the market longer, which then, as more listings come on, creates more inventory. Other factors that we're seeing, obviously the volatility in the government, which I won't get political in this podcast. It's just more of a conversation and the factors at play. So, and I say political, and that's obviously neutral on that standpoint, but the interest rates, those are pinching buyers right now. So they're fluctuating around 6.8%. They may trend lower, trend higher, but they're kind of bouncing around the high sixes. And that's pinching buyers and their buy power. So even though historically 6.8% is on average still a low interest rate, because back in the day it used to be 13, 14, 15%. So in that case, 6% sounds pretty great, but people are still used to interest rates being down in the fours. Some people threes, a lucky few twos, which don't want to contradict myself, but I really hope we don't go back into the twos and the low threes, because in order for interest rates to come down that low again, who knows, another pandemic may have to happen, or some other serious issues going on in the world will boil down to the interest rates going that low, which would cause a feeding frenzy, and it would just go back to the chaos that it was in before. So I digress. Interest rates are pinching buyers, so there aren't as many buyers in the market right now, which helps buyers who are ready and have the numbers and everything figured out of what they're comfortable with, to sellers who may have that low interest rate from when they purchased back in 2018, 2019, or refinanced 2020, 2021. 2021. So they may have a high 2s, low 3s interest rate. So why would they sell and lose that crazy savings to then buy today with more than double the interest rate, which adds on $1,000, $1,500, depending on the price point and everything else. So since this is just a conversation, I'll work on sending over the data points of 2 folks who are interested. But with some folks not selling, a lot of buyers out of the market, we've been in this kind of equilibrium, or as others would say, slowly becoming more of a balanced market, to where if the house is priced well, it's updated well, there are no crazy issues, or for the most part, I mean, Virginia is a buyer beware state. So when you're a buyer looking to write a contract or write an offer, make sure you do your due diligence, do everything you can to collect as much information as you can. And you might not be competing against 10 other people, 15 other people. You might be competing against one other family or 2 other folks, or it might just be you. And also on the buy side, even if a house has been on the market for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, that doesn't mean it falling apart. It's just an opportunity to get more contingencies. You may be able to ask for partial closing costs. It's a conversation that your agent has with the listing agent. And my favorite law is just try to make it a win-win situation on both sides, because in the end, if the seller lists their home for sale, they want to sell their house. I know it sounds like redundant, but it's pretty simple. So they want a buyer to come and buy their house. And from there, it can be a smooth transition if both parties are working together to get to the closing table. So as I was saying, what happens next in this market? People always ask, what do you see the market doing? What are the market trends? And I always love responding, like, I wish I had a crystal ball. I could shake it and then tell you. But then if I had a crystal ball and shake it could see the future of real estate, then I would be in the wrong business, and I should be in stock futures tradings or gambling or anything else. But my passion and my love is for real estate, finding deals, running the numbers, and most importantly, helping people and guide them through this process. So what do I see happening in the future? I mean, it's still so uncertain with the volatility and going on in the government. But as long as rates stay consistent where they are, it will continue to not really stall the market, because every area in the country is different, but specifically DMV, Maryland, DC, Northern Virginia, it's a very transient area. So people are coming and going for work, government, military, just young folks, older folks, it's just people are moving in and out constantly. So there will always be people selling. There will always be a market for folks who need to buy a home. So as rent continues to increase, which, again, a rough statistic. I didn't have it in front of me. I apologize for that, guys. But in the area, it tends to increase, 3 to 4% year over year on a conservative standpoint. So rent will continue to go up. So as rent continues to go up, with homes appreciating, it may slow down. I hope it slows down the appreciation of homes in Northern Virginia, just because I don't think we've hit that ceiling, but it's homes appreciating 10 to 12% year over year. That's absolute bananas. So I see that tapering down to getting back to an average, 4 to 6% appreciation, and just it holding steady. I don't see a massive housing recession happening, just because of all the rules and regulations that are put into the lending standpoint, and the appraisers and the work they do. They try to keep everything balanced. The lenders go into very, very detailed analysis on every buyer to ensure that their assets are checked. They have enough cash. The debt to income ratio checks the boxes. There's a lot of information that they go into, so it helps try to prevent what happened in 2007, 2008. And there are a lot of other factors that I haven't even gotten into. Is the commercial real estate. How is that going? How will that play a part in this? With the inflation, how will that play a part in this? The tariffs, the unfortunate wars that are going on. There are a lot of other bigger factors here which all play a part in the real estate market, and I just don't see this area being affected as drastically as other areas. The appreciation will slow. If rates were to come down to 4%, 5%, then yeah, it would be a feeding frenzy all over again, and there'd be an influx of buyers coming into the market, and hopefully more sellers would sell because interest rates would come down and they'd feel they'd have more of an ability to lose their 3% if they were to earn a 4% interest. So there's so many factors at play, and would love to just see your thoughts on your history in real estate, what questions you have, and what you see happening. There's no such thing as a bad answer. So as always, please ask away. Any questions that you have, we can dive deeper into those questions over the next talk, and hopefully I'll be able to help. So until then, stay safe, be respectful, be a good person, and keep learning about real estate. Talk to you then.